Hello, I would like to introduce the book, Ethical Machines by Reid Blackman. As the subtitle suggests, this book is a guidebook on how to proceed with the ethical aspects of developing and operating AI, or artificial intelligence. If the title of this book caught your interest, you may already be working on AI ethics in your own company or organization. Some of you may be at a loss as to how to deal with and realize the seemingly elusive topic of AI ethics. If so, this book should provide concrete advice that is immediately useful in practice. For those of you who are new to AI ethics, let me briefly explain this issue. With the third AI boom that began around the mid-2000s, AI has become a familiar presence. AI has become a part of our daily lives in a variety of ways, with varying degrees of performance. Chatbots that talk to us as if they were real people, smart speakers that listen to what we say and perform tasks as instructed, and delivery robots that automatically move around inside restaurants and within a certain area are already in practical use, whereas only a decade ago they were the stuff of science fiction. In addition, many of these systems, such as those used for facial recognition and various types of screening, do not explicitly state that AI is making decisions or affect the end user in an indirect way. Until now, the question in the human-AI relationship has been how to make AI work in practice. The question is now shifting to how to prevent AI from doing bad things in practice. In fact, many companies have experienced cases in which the AI they have developed has done something wrong. Take, for example, the case of Amazon's resume screening AI, which is also featured in this book. Many of you have probably heard of it, as it has been discussed in various places as a symbolic example of the AI bias problem. In order to streamline its own hiring process, Amazon came up with the idea of having an AI analyze the resumes of applicants to determine if they should proceed to a human interview. And when the company actually developed and tested the completed AI, it was found to have a bias of unfairly underrating women. According to reports, Amazon had been working on making this AI a reality since 2014, but gave up using it in 2017 because they could not overcome the bias problem. So a multi-year effort ended in failure. The loss in wasted AI development costs alone would have been significant, but if the bias issue had been overlooked and used in actual hiring practices, Amazon would have suffered further damage through loss of reputation. It is also possible that some sort of lawsuit would have been filed against the company for violating laws and ordinances prohibiting discrimination. And, while this may be an exaggeration, for those applicants who did not make it to the interview process due to the AI, it could have been a matter of a lifetime. Amazon is a world leader in the use of advanced technology and is listed as one of the 4 major players in the so-called GAFA: Google, Apple, Facebook, now renamed Meta, and Amazon, which is the largest company in the IT industry. Even Amazon has stumbled over AI ethics. Moreover, prejudice and discrimination are not the only themes of AI ethics. As this book explains in detail, AI ethics includes a variety of values, such as accountability and privacy. These multiple values involve trade-offs, and the question of how to strike a balance must also be addressed. The more AI becomes an indispensable part of people's daily lives, the greater the scope and scale of problems that will arise. Thus, AI ethics is not only inevitable, it is becoming an issue that many people need to address immediately. And indeed, various companies, organizations, and governments have begun to address AI ethics. For example, in January 2017, experts in various fields, including AI researchers, ethicists, and legal scholars, gathered in Asilomar, California, USA, and published the Asilomar AI 23 Principles, which provide guidelines for the future of AI research and AI use. The second section of these 23 principles is Ethics and Values, which outlines the ideal form of AI use in terms of safety, privacy, and consistency with human values. Although this is a mere declaration and not binding in any way, it served as the basis for subsequent discussions on AI ethics. A number of other prominent companies have begun to publish AI ethical principles or their equivalents, and by the early 2020s, AI ethics will be recognized as an issue that companies should address. However, AI ethics is not the kind of thing that can be implemented and practiced simply by issuing an AI ethics statement. As can be seen in some of the AI ethics statements and guidelines from various companies, the values mentioned in them are almost always the same. The values that are claimed to be realized consist of almost the same elements, such as fairness and privacy. The question is how to put these documents into practice and make them truly useful. Therefore, books and various services offering specific advice in this field have appeared, and this book is one of them. What makes this book unique is that it is written by someone who has assisted companies in their efforts to establish AI ethics. The author, Dr. Reid Blackman, is a former philosophy professor at the University of North Carolina. The advice in the book is very practical, and those working on this issue will no doubt agree with such statements as, start a discussion on AI ethics, and everyone ends up shrugging their shoulders. I have experience in corporate AI implementation and governance, and I get the impression that the topics he looks at and recognizes as important are unique to someone involved in AI ethics discussions from a practical standpoint. That's no surprise, since he left the University of North Carolina to start a company called Virtue, of which he is the founder and CEO. Virtue provides services to help mitigate ethical risks in the development, procurement, and implementation of new technology-based products. As he often mentions in this book, he is in the field himself, interacting with clients in a wide range of industries and organizational hierarchies. This book is a far cry from a theoretical reference book, as it contains advice based on what he has seen firsthand and on his own knowledge of what happens within a company when it attempts to implement AI ethics. The book also makes recommendations not only from the perspective of how frontline personnel and developers should respond, but also from the perspective of what management should think about, which adds to the value of the book. Of course, he does not neglect theory. He uses his knowledge as an ethicist to explain in plain language what ethics is and what it means to make ethics useful in real life. And, at the risk of spoiling the book for those who have not read it in its entirety, as the concluding section indicates, the advice outlined in this book does not apply only to AI ethics. It is broadly applicable to the pursuit of various ethical values within a company as it attempts to establish these values as practical rules rather than ethics declarations. Digital technology continues to evolve. Companies will now be required to develop and operate various advanced technologies, in addition to AI, in an ethical manner when they introduce them. In fact, in recent years, there have been calls for corporate digital responsibility as a concept similar to corporate social responsibility. Just as CSR forces companies to conduct business from an ethical perspective, CDR calls for companies to utilize digital technology from an ethical perspective. AI ethics is a forerunner to the CDR era. We hope that this book will be widely used as a guidebook for companies to go beyond AI ethics and use digital technology ethically. I hope this content is helpful to you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.